And welcome to another edition of Been There, Done That. I'm Patrick.
Hi, I'm Brian, and today we're going to focus on one of the very many Christmas traditions there are, but what I feel is the most popular one is the Christmas tree, and how that has changed over the years. Now people seem to think that they go to Walmart and you just go buy a tree. We have a very different opinion on this from most people.
And our tradition used to be, before we moved to the new house, was to go out in the woods, or the forest, and chop down a Christmas tree using a chainsaw or, axe or whatever you might have, and then hauling it back to the house, and, then we'd, yeah, we'd set it up, and we'd have this big old 9 or 10 foot tree in the house.
But we have since had to download our Christmas tree. Yes, I use the word download. This is a technology era. Hence, we're using a camera. So we have downloaded to a different house. Christmas trees are, it goes, as far back as you can remember. You see Christmas cards where there's Christmas trees on the card, and or people lugging them out from the woods, not from Walmart, not from Kmart. This is a Walmart world, but we don't have to transform everything we do into Walmart or plastic. It's fun. It's a family event. It's illegal to take one off somebody else's land, but
if you have permission from the landowner, which we recommend strongly, then you can always ask permission and cut a tree, or, if you have your own land, cut it from your own land.
That's a very good point.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is a really good point. Or the other option here is, and we're not sure about this, but if you cut a tree down, maybe it's stealing. But if you uproot a tree, which we'll show you how to do properly in a little while, it's more like adopting. So you're not killing the tree, you're just moving it to a different home. And we're going to show you how to take care of that tree in a little while. Patrick got the green thumb of the group here, and he's going to show you how to transplant your new Christmas tree to use the first year that you want it. And then after that, you can use it year after year, place it in your yard, and have a beautiful decoration and some privacy. And on those hot summer days, you have a little bit of shade too.
The Christmas tradition actually started in Europe in the 1600s, and we've brought it through to this day here in the new millennium.
Well, Patrick, how did they decorate the trees back in the 16th century? Because I wasn't there.
Back in the 16th centuries, they didn't have the bulbs that we have and lights, of course. However, they used more natural things like we still bring in today. We use pine cones and berries and natural things, leaves, dried leaves.
Candy canes. Alright, so now we're going to head off into
the woods, the great forest of Christmas trees.
We're going to show you how to get a small tree. So
okay.
Here we go.
And all we're going to really need for this hunting trip is a spade. And here we have a lady gardener. Yay! It'll do the trick. We're just looking for a small tree where we're downsizing. So this will allow us to dig up our tree, and that way we won't be cutting it down and killing it. We can actually just dig it up, put it in kind of a pot, and to get us through till when we can actually replant it. So that way it keeps on living and growing, and we'll get many years of use out of it in the front yard. We'll have a Christmas tree to light, and it'll provide us with shade and privacy from the road and all sorts of goodness. But it'll provide us with a great memory. You go out and dig up a tree with your kids and, replant it. What a great memory. It'll go on forever and ever. Now, here's a good example of a tree that we adopted, I like that word, adopted, last year. It was a lot smaller than this, of course, but this is just what we're going to do with the same tree that we just got this year. We are going to make sure that it makes it through the winter, and then we'll replant it, and it'll live just as hardy as this one. But what we did was we actually saved it. It may not have lived where it was. It might have been kind of choked out. And we just dug it up and we planted it out here in the front yard, and it's very happy right here.
One of the things you may find to be really fun or hassle, depends on who you are, but you'll find this anywhere, is which size Christmas tree are you looking for? Remember, the bigger it is, we're trying to save it, so we're going to dig it up. And so a smaller tree is probably your best bet. And we've got some really good trees over here that we're going to show you. We have a pretty good selection of small, large, some medium ones. Don't worry about fullness. When did it get full? when the royal family had a full tree, because we don't have them. Even our fake ones aren't full.
Remember those lovable Charlie Brown Christmases with their little Charlie Brown Christmas tree? Come on, we could have fun with that. You gotta admit, we could have fun with that. Hey, here's a little fella, and it's not too Charlie Brownish, and it's a great looking little tree. This one just might do. You can still look around a little more, but you know, in years to come, this little fellow, this would grow up in the front yard, and we could decorate it.
We also might want to point out that if you are not on your own land or permission from somebody else, even if you have permission from somebody else, usually this goes on during hunting season. Make sure you're wearing orange. Preferably try to do it on a day where they can't hunt, such as Sunday, because you don't want to be out in the woods and, well, get shot because somebody thinks you're a deer. And that put a damper on it. But anyways, Patrick has found us, which seems to be the perfect little tree for us to bring back to our new little downloaded home. What we're going to do now is we're going to dig this up, and then we're going to let Patrick teach you how to replant it and how to make it live throughout the winter. The reason we talk about replanting into a pot instead of the ground is usually by the time you get around to doing it, the ground is probably frozen. The good news is Miracle-Gro you can buy ahead of time early. You can get some soil early if you plan on doing this with your family, so that when you get ready to plant it, you've got everything you need and it's not frozen yet. So just keep it in a dry place, don't let it get wet, and you'll be all set, and you'll be able to plant your Christmas tree no matter how cold it is out. Hi. Well, holding the little fella up now because we've dug it out. The one important thing to remember when you're digging up a tree is go completely around the tree. It'll make pulling it out of the ground much easier. And but go completely around the tree and try not to hurt the roots too badly. So we're going to pick this one up and we're going to put it in our little pot, and we're going to show you now how to take care of it well.
Okay, here we are. We've got our plant pot that we're going to put our tree in. Right now we've got our tree roots soaking a little bit so that, you know, it'll just help it. So what we intend to do is put our little Christmas tree in this pot to get it through the winter, and then we'll transplant it on the lawn next spring. So we've got some fertilizer right here to help our little tree get started again after the shock to its system being dug up. So I've got that in here, and basically what I'm doing is I'm just moving it around, putting a few rocks in the bottom for drainage. Make sure you got a hole or two so the water can run out if you have a rainstorm. And I'm just moving the soil around. Then we're going to put the tree in it, and then we'll put more soil back on top of it. Hey, and here we are. We've got our little tree. It's all transplanted in a nice little pot. We've even decorated it now. We've got our lights on it, and it's all ready for Christmas. So now, all we need is a little snow, and we've got a natural Christmas tree that's going to live on in our family for generations.
So, as you can see, all we really needed today to do this was some energy, a shovel, a family member, with a pot if you happen to have it with you, if not at home. Again, make sure you have your soil and your stuff already set aside. Keep it dry. It's really important to keep it dry.
You see the tree. You mentioned pot, shovel, manure, but you need a tree.
And
most importantly, don't forget the tree.
Yeah, you know, a tree. He's right. A tree is pretty important. That's what we went after.
Okay. You keep forgetting the tree.
You know, so for you men out there, you know, make sure you give your lady her shovel, and you make sure you got the camera and take a lot of pictures because you're gonna want them. And that way, there, the next time that the wife says you haven't done anything, you can show her that you did. You took pictures.
And that's our segment for Been There, Done That.